allied itself with old adversaries. Together, the Rus allies were ready to challenge the dominance of the Mongols, and stopped paying them tribute. On the banks of the River Don, Dmitri would stake his life on being the first Rus leader to defeat the Horde in battle.
That was slightly buggy at the beginning. It was laggy and my recording tool didn't want to start. I think the first 2 seconds or so were gone. Odd. Welcome to 1380, the Battle of Kulikovo. Prince Dmitri and his allies prepared to make a historic challenge. The Rus would take the fight to the Mongol army. It would be victory or death.
Arriving at Kulikovo, Prince Dmitri and his army would rendezvous with allied forces from all principalities loyal to Moscow. Together, they would challenge more than a century of Mongol dominance. Before the battle, Dmitri would recruit soldiers from nearby villages. He would also ride to his allies, who were awaiting their battle orders.
Okay, so we need to go to the villages and we need to deliver the battle orders. Okay.
The villagers pledged all the soldiers they could spare, strengthening Dmitri's position against the Horde.
Служите ради. Поспешите. Путь надобный. Направляй. Руждаюсь оружие. Оружие. Бой уразуме. Приготовляйтесь, воины. Сейчас. Оружие готово есть. Воины на брань готовится. Оружие. Всем приготовитесь надо. Посмотрите оружие. Наступаем. Куда? А будут повинуют. Я тут наказывайте. Часов хочет. Приготовляйтесь, наказы исполняйте.
No monks. Nope.
Исполнено. Выступайте доблестно, воины. Живу службы ради.
Dmitri delivered the battle orders to his allies. They would take up position on the Smolka river fords and ready themselves for the enemy's arrival. With a loyal army assembled, Dmitri began the march north to meet the enemy in battle.
Идти надо по скору. Таков наказ есть. Всем приготовитесь надо. Ой, не готовится. Послушай, повинуйся с честью.
Let's see if we can find stuff.
Приготовляйтесь, долг несть бремя. Исполнено будет. Будете надо на войне. Время действовать. Оружие готово есть. Воины на... Приготовляйтесь, воины!
Оружие суть исправно. Ожидаем в пути.
Воины наказа ожидают.
Готове повинуй.
Выступайте доблестно, воины!
Dmitri would oversee the battle with his own detachment of fighters, moving to support any ford crossing that seemed at risk of being overwhelmed.
Восстанете, воины!
As Mongol war drums sounded through the fog, Dmitri and his men steeled themselves for the arrival of the horde.
Живу службы ради. Бой, следую наказам, приз. Всем приготовиться надо. Ой, не готовы, службы ради. Восстанете, воины!
The Rus were emboldened by this first small victory and stood firm on the Smolka River, ready for the enemy's next
Oh, we
attack.
have warrior monks on horses. Oh dear, that's good.
Civilians from the province, although unable to fight, vowed to construct defenses for Dmitri should he need to fall back from the northern fords.
Приготовляйтесь, воины!
Оружие.
Воины!
Оружие будет.
Время действовать! Приготовляйтесь, воины! Служите, рад! Всем
Руждаюсь.
Dmitri's allied villagers had finished constructing a line of defenses, which Dmitri could choose to fall back to if he lost the fords.
Сила, выступайте, доблестно, воины! Послушание есть добродетель! Управляемся куда велено есть! Поспешаем на прицел! Воины наказа ожидают!
Oh dear, a lot of units died. We have sustained 10 waves. Oh dear. Maybe we should split our healing forces and our knight.
Есть добродетель. Приготовляйтесь, воины! Какой на... Воины на...
Оружие.
Готов. Приготовляйтесь, наказы исполняйте. Вас повинуй. Послушай. Приготовляйте. Какой наказ есть? Сейчас.
Приготовляйте оружие.
Готов. Поспешаю на брешь. Живу службы ради.
Стрел наготове.
Каков приказ? Повинуй. Готов, если служите. Повинуюсь, время действовать.
Dmitry and his Rus allies held the fords and eliminated the Mongol vanguard. While the enemy regrouped after the initial skirmish, the prince ordered the Rus to fall back to the hilltop defenses behind them.
Всем приготовиться. Какой направляюсь куда велено есть.
As they retreated, nearby Rus provinces mustered additional forces to Dmitry's side.
Воинин наказ.
Направлять путь.
Восстанете, воине. Воины готовы суть к брани.
Сейчас.
Готовы будете, воине. Идти надо на поскору. Так, платницы с бомб. Наказ, слушаюсь. Повелевайте. Приготовляйтесь, воин.
Оружие берите.
Все будете. Какой наказ есть?
In planning to face the horde, Dmitry had called upon a cavalry detachment to stage an ambush. He received word that his reinforcements had begun to arrive and bided his time for the right moment to call them to battle.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Наказывайте. Готовы будете, воине. Патень, приступайте на гамма.
Оружие суть исправно. Ожидаем.
Какой наказ есть?
Время. Оружие.
Тихо! Наказе новик.
Оружие на
Готов. Направляюсь, куда верит. Пати нельзя. Наказ стоп.
приготовься.
Начинаю искать. Заслужение есть направление. Сила, приступайте доблестно, воине.
Слушаются. Идем, воины. Сделайте ряды. Набрать выступление. Оружие готовое. Достанете.
Патницы, на коней садитесь.
Победи!
The two great armies clashed in the fog, but Dmitry's men stood firm. With the terror of the horde on their doorstep, Rus villagers once again rushed to construct more defenses, this time on the banks of the Don River.
Приготовляйте часов. Путь мой чистый. Час повелевайте. Готов сейчас. Святость освящает путь.
Приготовлен. Воины, наказы слушайте.
Вести, яко делайте бой.
Направляйте разумно. Яко прикажет.
Время действовать. Сеич готов есть. Долг несть время. Готовы будете, воины. Восстаньте, воины.
Будете надо мной. Оружие готово. Оружие.
Какой наказ есть? Посмотрите, оружие наступает! Ватницы готовятся! Оружие готовите! Ватницы, наконец! Так сделано будет! Наступайте надо!
Будете надо.
Готов, если служить, скачу напрямик.
Слушать сейчас.
Наказывайте! Братья, двигайтесь, наказывайте! Братья, приготовляйтесь, наказы исполняйте!
Оружие.
Повинует же время действовать исполнено будет.
Приготовляйте оружие.
Яко делать.
Слушайте, празднуйте. Наступаем.
Приготовляйтесь наказы исполнить. Служите. Приготовляйтесь, люди.
In desperation, Dmitri called in the cavalry force, even though they were not yet at full strength.
Какой наказ? Готов, если служите. И ватницы готовятся. Ватницы приготовляйтесь, Ариня. Ватницы смели готовятся. Двинулись.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my crossbow, man. What? Oh dear. Oh dear. Only 10 remaining.
The Mongol numbers dwindled as the Rus struck down their ranks. Seeking an even stronger position, Dmitri ordered his forces to fall back to the Don River, where his allies had constructed new defenses. As the Rus fell back, a fresh detachment of reinforcements joined the fight.
Слушаю.
Восстанете, воине! Ватницы наступают. Ну-ка, братья! Двигайтесь надо! Бой будете надо на бойне!
Оружие будете на копейщицы, наступайте. Оружие сути справуждаюся, хлеба рать. Направляйте оружие на плечи.
Есть не праздновать. Готов, есть служите, рад есть.
Приготовлять, будет,
будет исполнен, готов, исполнено будет.
Направляйте.
Направляюсь, куда наказано идти. Ищу супостата.
With their backs to the River Don, the Rus held their ground in a last stand against their ferocious enemy.
Приготовляйтесь на надо на поскору. Таков готов. Иду куда наказано. Приготовляйся, стремлюсь к добродетели. Иду куда наказано есть. Мирно, наказ снов есть. Готовы будете, воины. Пати, оружие. Повину, спешаю напрямик. Мирно, наказ снов есть. Скачу на пляж. Какой двигаюсь. И повину спину. Честный.
In last gasps of the desperate battle, the Rus would not back down. It would be victory or death.
Выступайте на! Время действовать! Наказывайте! Братья, двигайтесь надо! Наказывайте!
Оружие, служь.
Приготовляйтесь наказы исполнять! Восстанете, воине! Повелевать! Приготовлять! Готов е сила! Служите, раб если! Долг несть бремя! И приготовлять сейчас! Есть готов! Долг несть бремя! Направлять!
Приготовляйте оружие.
I forgot that. We have a hero with a healing ability.
For the first time in over 100 years of subjugation, the armies of the Rus defeated the Mongols in battle. For 3 days and nights, Prince Dmitri buried the fallen in the fields of Kulikovo. He became known as Donskoy, the victor at the River Don.
Alrighty, we've seen that one. Saint Dmitry Donskoy. Victor at the Donsk. Grand Prince Dmitry did not always have easy relations with the hierarchs of the Orthodox Church. But this great victory at Kulikovo made him a national hero, one credited even today with turning the tide in the struggle for Rus independence from the Golden Horde. Legends grew around the battle, including the story that the venerable abbot Sergei of Radonech blessed the prince and sent his 2 bravest monks into battle with Dmitri to inspire the troops and provide spiritual legitimacy to the fight. Still, the Russian Orthodox Church did not soon forget Dmitri's conflicts with the religious leaders of his own time. It was only in 1988, some 600 years after his great victory, that the church made Dmitry Donskoy a saint, giving him, interesting, 1 year before the fall of the Soviet Union, giving him religious stature to match his historical and cultural importance. Interesting. Maybe, I mean, this is just a mind game. I mean, the Soviet Union was falling apart. Maybe they tried to appease the common Russian people by honoring an old hero of them. Maybe it had something to do with the downfall of the Soviet Union. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it has nothing to do with it. It's just a thought. It's an interesting time for sure. An interesting coincidence. Shortly before the fall of the Soviet Union. Maybe it has nothing to do with it. I don't know. If there wasn't the Soviet Union, non-religious entity, Soviet Union religion, weren't they mainly atheists? I mean, they were this Marxism, Leninism, all of that is atheism. I mean, the Soviet Union was mainly atheist. Of course it was, yes. The question is, what happened to the Orthodox Church, the Russian Orthodox Church under the Soviet Union? I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I guess Christians got persecuted? Either I don't know for sure. I mean, it's hard to stamp out religion. But Stalin for sure tried. I'm pretty sure of that. Anyway.
The might of medieval Moscow was powered by strong arms and an unbreakable fighting spirit.
Fighting with a sword and shield, eye to eye in a gritty and brutal contest, was the European way. Swords in Moscow developed along the same lines as they did in Western Europe. This is a typical sword of around 1400. It's got a broad, double-edged blade, a simple crossguard, and this heavy pommel counterbalances the blade.
They were so well balanced that these powerful medieval swords were capable of being wielded with great speed and fluidity.
By the 14th century, improvements in the manufacture of iron made it possible to fashion swords with longer blades. And swords like this, requiring two hands to wield, became more and more common on the battlefield.
They were called long swords, and they were used with sophisticated martial techniques.
It does have incredible and terrifying power.
But there was another influence on Moscow. Moscow traded with the East, and Moscow fought with the East. And it was from the East that Moscow adopted the saber, with its distinctively curved blade. The curve on a saber blade gives a natural slice to the cut, so cutting deeper for less effort. These exceptionally light swords were first and foremost a horseman's weapon.
As a single-strike weapon, using the speed of the horse for impact, it was one cut onto the next.
But cutting wasn't their only use.
Even with a curved blade, you can still deliver an effective thrust.
However, for all their cavalry dash, the old ways of standing firm remained part of the Muscovy way, forging a military culture that was a unique blend of West and East.